Hello milkers and welcome to Borderlands 2. I thought that I would want to share something on my channel that has been very near and dear to me over the years, from playing the first Borderlands as a child and even when I was an adult playing Borderlands 3. This game is really, especially Borderlands 2, arguably one of the greatest Borderlands out of all this series. I thought it would be the best place to start here. A couple things to let you guys know when you're going to be watching my series. I have played through this game a lot of times. What we're going to be doing here is I'm going to try to do a 100% all mission playthrough. So the way that we're going to do this is I am going to play through the entire story, all the side quests, or side missions. I'm going to be doing all the DLCs as well, along with all the Headhunter missions, and I'm going to be doing my best to also, in that time, show you guys all of the red chest spots, all of the secret challenge chests, anything like that. I'm just going to be doing all those for you. One thing that does kind of suck from what I remember about this game is that there are some missions I believe that are repeatable. So unfortunately, I don't think there's a way that we can get our Echo mission log totally clear, which kind of sucks. But we're going to be doing every mission at least once. And I will say that I've played through all of the characters. I've beaten the game probably with every character at least once to fully get a estimate of their abilities. So without further ado, I can give some more narration right when we jump into this.
So, you want to hear another story, huh? One where the very fate of Pandora hangs in the balance? If not, too bad, I'm telling you anyway. First, there was the Vault, an alien prison opened with a mystical key. To the warriors who opened it, the Vault was just a container of tentacles and disappointment. They vanished into the wastelands, certain that the Vault held no treasure at all. They were wrong. The Vault's opening triggered the growth of iridium, a priceless alien element. Soon, the rare and valuable mineral emerged all across Pandora. Its appearance attracted many, including the Hyperion Corporation. They came to Pandora to mine iridium and bring order to the savage planet. Through their excavations, Hyperion uncovered evidence of an even greater vault. Their leader vowed to find it, to use its power to civilize the Borderlands, once and for all. But Hyperion weren't the only ones searching for the next vault's alien power. The call of danger and loot is not so easily resisted. Certain warriors came to Pandora in droves to uncover its hidden secrets. Some would call them adventurers. Others call them fools. But I call them Vault Hunters. Our story begins with them, and with a man named Handsome Jack.
I'm gonna skip it right here because this is, I believe, the trailer for the game, so we don't technically need to see this. It's basically just introducing all of the 4 default Vault Hunters. Okay, so a little introduction to all the characters. Axton is the commando. He's sort of the clone of... He's not the literal clone, but he's a clone of Roland. And he has an access to a saber turret. And I have played through Axton quite a bit. I know that he can get more than one turret. I know he can get a dome on his turret. He can place them on the ceiling. He can throw them with a nuke down. All that stuff. But we're not going to be doing him. I will say that Assassin for Zero was was actually the first character that I played because I thought he was really cool at the time. Honestly, he was kind of lacklustering. like looking back on it. I can't really remember too much about his skills. He goes invisible for the most part. I think at one point you can upgrade him to have a decoy of his in that spot, or that might just be always the thing. Um, but yeah, I think he relies on like crits and stuff and like backstabbing, stuff like that. But not something we're gonna be doing here. Maya's a siren who has phase lock ability, and I believe all around she kind of like helps out with like elemental damage, I believe. There are a couple things, like I think one ability she has is she's able to punch, and she can send out like an orb of slag, and slag is an elemental type, which we'll discuss more while we're in the game and discover it. But not really something I'm really going to be doing, because we also have to think that I'm going to be playing this game for the first time all the way through 100%ing all the missions. And then if and when we get to True Vault Hunter and Ultimate Vault Hunter, at the level I might be, I might just try to speed run the story and see how fast I can get that done. And then Salvador is Gunzerker. So Gunzerker is just, you can wield 2 of the guns that you have equipped in your inventory, and you just get to shoot, and you have regenning ammo for them. He wasn't, I would play with a lot of people that would play him, but necessarily to me, I just don't think he's that good of a character. But here's where we get to one of the 2 people that I think we're going to be playing. Gage, which is a Necromancer. Now, a Necromancer allows her to summon a Death Trap, which is a floating robot that can fly around, and with upgrades he can shoot electro beams, he can get big old claws to do rapid attacks. I think one skill, he also gets a copy of my shield. I want to say he can res me at some point, but I'm not too sure about that one. And then the other person I'm thinking about playing is Krieg, which is the Psycho. And the Psycho goes into Buzz Axe Rampage, and he will allow us to pull out the normal buzzsaw that we would see from any normal Psycho, and we can just chop up people using RT, which would be a melee button, or we can hold LT and throw them. Now, there are a couple different upgrades, such as I get dynamite on my Buzz Axe when I throw it. There's another one that allows me to, I think, breathe fire. And then one of the most OP things that I've seen used as somewhat of an exploit, but it's built into the game, so it's kind of hard not to exploit it, is I believe it's Badass Psycho, something like that, where you basically, if you activate your ability less than 33% health, then you turn into a Badass Psycho, dealing more damage. You get a big old arm like you're a Charger in Left 4 Dead, and then you just chop them up, you know, real good. And when you get out of that mode, you actually get your ability right back, I believe, with 100% health. So then you can just do it again over and over and over and over again. So, that is the question. Do we want to do Krieg as our Psycho class, where we're focusing on a lot of melee and a lot of throwing the axe? Or do we want to go with something that can help me out in a fight by taking out multiple people at the same time, or do I just take on everybody by myself? I'm kind of leaning towards Necromancer because she has a little bit more versatility, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. If I didn't already say, then I've played through this game. But keep in mind, even out of all the heads that I have for everybody, I still only have like 50% of the heads and like 50% of the skins. So there's Read All About It, which makes her look like a news girl. A bunny head, Speak No Evil. Oh, I didn't even notice that her mouth is sewn shut. Keeping It Real, which is, I guess she just looks like a mechanic, kind of, sort of. Bang Bang, which is just, you know, bangs. Her normal outfit. I'm going to skip down to the bottom so we can meet back at the regular Gage head, because that's actually not that bad. Don't Stop the Beat, which is just headphones and glasses. There's Bright Idea, which is just she has a bright idea. Horn Child, which is just demonic looking. Also with the Borderlands symbol, the vault symbol on her head. Furry Ferocity, which is just like a just a winter-style headgear with goggles on her head. And then this is my personal favorite, which is Necrosis, I believe is the way you pronounce that. And then I'll show you which is the skin that I would normally use. So the way they kind of do it is like, I think anything above the normal default skin color is just like your basics, you know, here and there. It's like something different, you know. It's just the slightest changes in color scheme. Clashing colors, that's not actually half bad. But there is a skin that I would much rather use. Let's scroll all the way down to the bottom. And as you can see, we only have 5 skins for here. So there's Striped and Strapped. There's Steampunk Rock, which has a lot of things. Also, if you look at my face, there's a gear. Bring Out Your Dead, which is all red, and then my personal favorite, which I think we're going to be rocking, is Chaos Reigns, where there's just like symbols on her chest. It's hard to see the symbols because they're so big, but it also like gives that like cool complement of colors. And then there's this one, which is Warm and Fuzzy. But I think we're going to be doing Chaos Reigns. And then when it comes to name, I think we're just going to name her. Let's just call her what I call you guys. Kind of inappropriate, but what in this game isn't appropriate? We're going to call her Milkers. Alright. And without further ado, let's jump right into it, into the Tundra. I'm also going to be trying not to skip cutscenes on the first playthrough, so we're just going to let it play out. There are some cutscenes that can be skipped, some not.
Handsome Jack's been busy. Wait a minute! You're not dead! Yes! Now I can get off this glacier. Claptrap, your metaphorical ship has finally come in. Allow me to introduce myself. I am a CL4P TP steward bot, but my friends call me Claptrap. Or they would if any of them were still alive, or had existed in the first place. Oh, I've got something for you. Here, take this echo communicator that I totally didn't loot from one of these corpses. It comes with a Class 12 heads-up display, complete with a mini-map. Now, come, friend, let's get you inside. Man, this is great! Now that I've met a mighty
I also have
hunter,
65 gold keys just from playing the game, and it's going to give me all, like, bonus starting things. Iridian Relic. I don't remember starting with a relic. I don't even think you can equip it until you get to a certain part in the story, so that doesn't even matter.
I can finally join the Resistance and Sanctuary.
Alright. We are out moving and grooving. I want to say that there's some...
This way!
I'll explain everything soon, but know this. You're alive for a reason, and I am here to help you.
I want to say there's some things to get. There's certainly not any chest out here. I think just some things that you can open to get cash. But with the way that I normally play this game, we'll be getting plenty of cash, so that really shouldn't be an issue.
Well done! Your ability to walk short distances without dying will be Handsome Jack's downfall. Just a little added security. Gotta keep those bullymongs at bay, or they'll rip your eyes out.
He's normally supposed to stand in front of the scanner.
Sorry about the mess. Everything Jack kills, he dumps here. Bandits, vault hunters,
A lot of cash on the table that doesn't it doesn't pop up that you can take it until you actually hit X to take, and then you can pick it all up.
Now, the creatures around here are dangerous. None more than this bullymong named Knuckle Tracker. kill everyone I know. Anywho, I keep a pistol in the cabinet over there for emergencies. But in here, we should be pretty safe. The gun in the cabinet.
Once upon a time, 4 Vault Hunters changed Pandora forever. But their time has passed. Thanks to Handsome Jack, Pandora needs a new hero. I know that hero is you.
Apart from the excruciating pain, this is great! I've been waiting for a mighty Vault Hunter to help me reach Sanctuary. I will be your wise leader, and you shall be my fearsome minion!
Alright, so before we go up there to help him retrieve his eye, a couple things here. In here, there is going to be some loot you can grab. Alright. But more importantly, in this room, you are going to find your first very vault symbol. And then you would just hit X to discover. And that is 1 badass rank down. Do I keep my badass rank on? Oh yeah, natural selection annex is just a, it's just like an arena thing you can do. And then, yep, I got gearbox stuff. Special edition, yep. So the contraband skyrocket, I'll show you what that does when we're in a fight. The Vault Hunter relic, which is probably going to be replaced sooner rather than later. I didn't know you could actually have these. I must be having Borderlands 3 in my brain. Rare loot chance, 5% up. And then there's just an SMG I got and a AR that I got, and also a gearbox sniper. Although I think I'll just stick with these 2 guys for now. Alright. Yep, and as you can see, these are my badass rankings. So let's just shield recharge. Actually, let's get recoil reduction, recoil reduction, recoil reduction. And then these are all the challenges that you would have to do. Those are just some of the DLCs. And then these are like the normal ones you would have to do. I'm pretty sure each of the challenges reset for each build. So that's why all of them are like nothing. Complete many challenges. And one of them was discover a hidden vault symbol. Alright, so I think I'm just going to keep them on because that's just the normal way that we'll play it. It's not like it's a big buff for everything. The maximum thing is 8% gun damage and 8% max health. When it gets harder and harder, trust me, that stuff's not going to mean anything. It's not going to mean diddly squat. Alright, so maybe before we keep going on, what I'll do is I will give you guys a rundown of this. So Death Trap can, I believe, spawn for like 30 some seconds, I think, but he has a cooldown of 60. So the 3 trees are Ordered Chaos, Little Big Trouble, and Best Friends Forever. Now the Best Friends Forever at the bottom, I believe, gives you a copy of of whatever shield I'm wearing onto him. Little Big Trouble, I believe, if I'm correct, if you shoot him with an elemental weapon, he will become that element. Yup, the elemental weapon will charge him, causing his melee attacks to deal additional damage of that element. And then Ordered Chaos is with Claws. It's a melee override skill for me, which is when I have stacks of Anarchy, which is basically all of what this tree is leaning towards, your Anarchy skill, which you see right up at the top right. I can get Digistruct Claws, which swipe twice at an enemy, dealing damage based on the number of Anarchy stacks, and restore my health. The lower it is, the more health I gain. This attack consumes an Anarchy stack. Let's look down the anarchy tree, because I think I'm going to lean towards one of these two, because if I remember correctly, numerically, with the number of levels that you can get, over time you can actually get 2 full trees. You can go all the way to the bottom. Like mathematically, if you go all the way to the bottom, which I believe takes 37 points, and then jump over to another tree and then do that, and then jump over to the final tree without giving any additional unnecessary points into a tree you already completed, I believe you can get 2.5 full trees done. So let's look at Anarchy. Killing an enemy or fully emptying your gun mag grants Anarchy. Anarchy increases gun damage and while decreasing accuracy. So I can have 150 stacks, which mathematically for gun damage just sends it through the roof. But the decrease in accuracy is just astronomical. And then we got increased reload speed, but decreased mag size, which is actually not half bad when you think about it if you're going for the Anarchy build, because the more that you can get through your magazine size, the more Anarchy stacks you get. So the Death Trap can unleash a flurry of attacks, which you just claws you up like crazy. Killing an enemy restores a portion of your shield, but you lose a portion of health. Interesting. Now I wonder if it still does that ability even if your shield is not, or even if your shield is full. Even more Anarchy stacks, but like, you guys got to think like how much accuracy that goes down. That is just insane. You need to be rocking shotguns basically at that point. And then just movement speed of Death Trap. I mean, he flies like basically at a target, so the distance is like literally just like straight there. So prematurely reloading activates Discord, increasing accuracy, fire rate, and health regeneration. You will constantly lose stacks while Discord is active. Discord can be deactivated by prematurely reloading again. So when you prematurely reload with just Anarchy, you lose all of them. But if you get Discord, it turns it to slow. Whenever you gain a stack, there's a chance you'll gain an additional stack. When you have 0 stacks, next time you get one, it's 25. Not FBen. Next level, gain 25 stacks for the price of 1. It's no free lunch, but still. Yep, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Shooting an enemy while in midair consumes Anarchy and causes a Digi explosion, damaging nearby enemies. Every ninth bullet, which I believe just stands for ninth bullet, but it's supposed to be a play on words of the ninth degree. Every ninth bullet will ricochet towards another enemy. Not half bad. And then, of course, we have the claws. So, all in all, it's like you'd have to be playing a really specific kind of play style to actually make this work, which I don't think we're going to be going for here. More pep increases chances of burn, electrocution, corrosion, and slag. But the electrocution is higher. Keep in mind that, guys. Increase shock resistance and shield capacity. Increase melee damage for me and Death Trap. And keep in mind, Death Trap's primarily melee damage, unless you get certain abilities for him. So he can fire a laser beam that sweeps across the battlefield, dealing incendiary damage and possibly igniting enemies. Killing an enemy with a critical hit for Shock Storm causes an electrical storm, dealing shock damage nearby. Electrical storms are also caused by Death Trap whenever he kills an enemy. That is very nice, especially because the more pep gives the electrocution chance to go up, which does damage over time. Electrical burn. Whenever the electrocution status effect is dealing damage to enemies, there's a chance they will burst into flames and take burn damage. And then it says the amount of burn damage is based on the electrocution damage dealt. So the electrical burn chance will go from 4%, and then I think max level is 20%, which is really good. Shocking. Ugh! Reloading your gun causes an electrical explosion, damaging nearby enemies. So if anybody has played Mob of the Dead on Black Ops 2 Zombies, you will notice there is a perk called Electric Cherry, or something like that. It's basically that. You just cause an AoE explosion. Kill skill for Evil Enchantress. It's just killing an enemy increases the damage that your burn, electrocute, and corrosion status deal for a short period of time. So a little tip about, because there was nothing in the right tree about it, a little tip about this game if you guys did want to play. Anything that's a square skill is normally a passive. Anything that is a hexagon like this, it's going to be a kill skill. So just a little thing to be on the lookout for. 1-2 boom. Death Trap ability. Death Trap shoots out an orb of energy at an enemy. If you shoot the orb, it'll explode, dealing massive shock damage to nearby enemies. Wires don't talk. Increase all shock and electrocute damage that you inflict, which is really nice. It's just a really big electrical build that these guys would be going for, or that we would be going for if we went down this tree. The only thing that sucks about it is, out of like all my times playing this game, finding an electrical weapon as opposed to other like weapon affinity types, I feel like, not including slag, but that is actually probably the lowest rarity of an electrical type weapon popping up, which really sucks. So this is one of the ones that is a little complex, but I hope to simplify it. Interspersed Outburst. Not shooting an enemy for a short time grants you a stack of Interspersed Outburst. The next time you shoot an enemy, all the stacks are consumed, and you deal bonus slag damage. The more stacks are consumed, the higher the skill rating, the greater chance of slag. Okay, so I guess I'll explain slag, because it's just right here, and without explaining it, nobody really knows what's going on. So what slag damage is it is, I believe it's defined as a runoff of the Iridian that has been popping up around the universe ever since the Vault monster was defeated for the first game, which is what was happening in the story. But basically, slag is a elemental type that you would want to first put on a enemy, and then you would want to swap to a different elemental type. So let's say I have a slag weapon and an electric weapon. I would want to slag them first and then electrify them, because not only does the slag give it a higher percent chance for them to actually take the damage of electricity and like proc the damage over time for burn, corrosion, or electrocute, but I believe it also does greater damage. So that is one thing that is like, you swap the slag them, pull out an elemental, hit them. But even with this, it's like doing incendiary damage for Death Trap. There's a chance that they'll also burn when you electrify them, stuff like that. And then, of course, shooting him with an elemental weapon is giving him that element, which is pretty nice. But this is the one this is the tree I normally go for, which I believe is the one that we're going to go for as well. So when your gun mag is full, you regen health. That is great. I can just run around, regen some health, and especially when I get that up, I believe it goes up to, mathematically, I think it goes up to 2%. So 2% max health when I have my mags full. Your bullets that hit a wall or other objects have a chance to ricochet towards a nearby enemy. Ricochet bullets have reduced damage. I believe it goes up to, I don't think the bullet damage, like ricocheted, gets reduced at all. but I think the chance goes up to 50, so I think it might be 50-50 when you get it max. Fancy Mathematics improves shield recharge delay and rate based on how low my health is. So my shield will just start to regen faster and at a shorter period of time when it gets broken or gets low when my health is low. So then Death Trap ability, he can restore my shields full, which is just really great. When your magazine is half past empty, I gain fire rate, which is really nice, especially if I'm going to be doing like ARs and stuff. It all just depends on the weapons that I get. So this is the only other kill skill in this tree, or sorry, in this entire build, which is called Unstoppable Force. Killing an enemy grants bonus movement speed, but costs your shield to regenerate for a short while. Oh, I don't know why I said but it says N causes your shield to regenerate, which is really nice. So it's shield regeneration and maximum speed. Upshot Robot. While Death Trap is active, kills it makes, or myself, or kills that I make, increases its duration and grants both of us a stacking melee damage bonus. Bonus is lost when Death Trap goes away. So just when I level it up once, I'm not sure if I can level it up more, but just by killing an enemy, it adds 5 seconds. Increase maximum health from me and Death Trap, which is very nice, because once you get to the later late game stuff and other places like that, it just gets really hard to keep him alive for the full duration. He'll just die like halfway through if you get it to that. Explosive Clap. He creates an explosive blast with his robo hands, dealing explosive damage to all nearby enemies. This clap will trap your soul or explode your body, whatever. Made with sterner stuff, you and Death Trap take reduced damage from all sources. Additionally, Death Trap gains increased melee damage. So all in all, I think I can get it up to 5. So that's 15% more melee damage. So basically 50% more damage from Death Trap, and I get 5% damage reduction, which is not half bad. 20% cooler increases the cooldown rate of your action skill, which I believe you can also get that up to 5. So that would be about 30% cooldown. So 30% out of 60 seconds, we're talking like maybe like 40 some seconds. 42 and a half, I think, mathematically. 42 and a half seconds as opposed to 60 seconds. And then this is the skill that we will be going for because it is just amazing. Grant a copy of your shield, complete with all the benefits and bonuses of your shield. I'd want to think of an example, but I don't want to spoil it. And that is all the trees. So I think what we'll be doing is we will be going for the best friends forever, because who doesn't want to play with their best friend forever? Then I think we're going to go down Little Big Trouble, because that will help us with elemental damage, and elemental damage will really become a factor late game, because if we can get that damage over time on some people, that will just really help us out. And then we'll get a little bit of anarchy if we don't want to come back to this tree and get some more stuff. I mean, the flurry of blows for over here might be nice to get, but I think the way that this goes is this is 1 skill to buy, and then this is 4. So I would have to spend at least 5, maybe 6 points just to get that, that's opposed to if I don't want to increase something in this tree or in this tree again. But, yeah, that is all the stuff. So I guess we could just continue on with our gameplay.